morning. Welcome to our second edition of Bust Out of Gold, Road to Ruby series. I'm so happy and thankful to have my daughter, Amber. She's a Diamond Ambassador and my personally sponsored, I think she was my fourth person or maybe my third person to join my team. Fallon Black. She has got such an amazing story, and we just have so much good stuff lined up for you today. And so the reason I had asked that we really wanted Fallon to be on this is because the title of this series is Bust Out of Gold. And when I think of somebody that has busted out of gold, I think of Fallon, and I just love her story. So the topic last week was raising your lid, being the leader of the momentum by example for your team, just stepping out and doing things in fear and not getting in management mode. And one thing I just love about Fallon is that when she was going through her personal growth and trying to figure out, why she was quote unquote stuck. I don't even like that term because we're not really stuck. We're just in the process of reaching the next rank and maybe figuring out what that means for you. But what Fallon did is this girl, I always tease her about her red hair, because when you think of somebody with red hair, you think of somebody that's stubborn and determined, and she definitely meets that criteria. And she also has just a work ethic and a half. And I love her story because while she was a little frustrated, and she's going to tell it briefly, some of you may already know it, she never stopped working. She believes in work. She's one of the hardest workers that I know. And so she never stopped that daily activity, even though she was trying to work through some things in her mind. And so Amber and I had the pleasure of knowing Fallon for quite a while before Plexus even came up. And she's just an awesome mama and a hard worker. And I just can't wait to hear from Fallon.
Okay. So I want to thank you for having me on. This is seriously one of my favorite things to talk about, because I think, especially when I started, a lot of people don't see the struggle. They just see bam, bam, bam promotions. And when I joined, I think Sonia Dudley had hit diamond in 10 months. And I'm like, oh, honey, we're going to be rich in 10 months. Well, it didn't happen. I think I was definitely still gold 10 months later. But I didn't let it stop me. I definitely kept growing. So even when I had hit silver and then I was at gold for 18 months, I knew I was going to be a diamond, and that belief is what kept me going. I really believed when everyone said, if you don't give up, you're going to be a diamond. And I believed that. I sat at convention 2 years in a row as a gold and just took it all in. And I was learning everything I possibly could. And I think the other thing is just being coachable. I think Lori was pretty frustrated with me. She didn't really know what to do with me because I was really such a problem, and I just didn't seem to get it. I was working hard, but nothing was really happening. And she told me to read some books, and I think probably by the time you told me the fourth book, I was like, okay, I'm just ordering all of them. Nothing's working. I'm just going to do it. And I started reading them reluctantly, but I just knew everything wasn't working for me, and I knew it wasn't the products, it wasn't the business, because people were ranking up, but I wasn't. So I knew that I had to change myself.
Yes, and she just did such a beautiful job of that. And once again, the main thing that I saw in her while she was frustrated and while she was needing to go through that personal growth period was she never stopped the daily work. She never stopped reaching out to people. And so I think that is because she had such a strong work ethic and also belief. And so I do often have golds approach me and tell me that. Like, I can hear that in what they're saying to me. I have the belief. I just really can't figure out what's wrong. But the mistake that they make is they stop working. They stop reaching out. They just freeze dead in their tracks, or they look at their team to get them to the next level of where they want to be, and they go into management mode. And Amber, I don't know, what have you experienced with that, with people that get stuck in management mode, and how do you suggest, or what would you ask Fallon of how she never got stuck in that mode?
Yeah, no, I think you bring up a really great point, because I mean, when you were talking about what golds do, like how they need to know that they have to work on personal growth, they have to learn how to lead a team, and I've heard it a lot too. It's, well, I'll check in on somebody. How are you doing? What's been going on? Great. I've been taking some time just to grow myself, and I'm loving to learn, and so I've slowed down, but I've been reading a lot of books, and you're like, yay! And it's just exactly, you guys are golds, or maybe gold and above. And think about when you were a silver or brand new ambassador, right? And your sponsor told you, you don't need to know it all. You don't have to know every single ingredient that's in the products and exactly what they do and where they're sourced from. And you don't need to know all of that. You just need to start sharing with people, and you'll learn as you go. And you can watch videos, you can learn, but share. Right? Don't wait till you know it all. That's what we tell brand new people, because they're never going to know it all. It's a process. So same thing at Gold. Yeah, there's a lot you need to learn. It's great to be working on yourself, learning how to have a better attitude, how to work with different personalities. But in the process, just like Mom was saying Fallon did, Fallon had a lot to grow, just like I did. I mean, I probably more so than Fallon, but you have to not stop working and not stop reaching out, because it won't only halt your own business, but your team will see that. So if you do have people who want to work or are excited, but you're just taking time to grow yourself and learn, you're going to go nowhere. And all of your prospects and people you could have been messaging, someone else is going to message them. And you're going to have what happened to me. I message somebody and they'd be like, oh yeah, I've been on the products for a year. Or, oh yeah, so-and-so, I was talking to her and I just signed up as an ambassador. Oh my gosh, guys, that's so frustrating to hear when you could have reached out, but you were just growing yourself and taking your time. So do it together, right, Mom? I mean, that's what you did, Fallon, right? I mean, I know that you're huge on personal growth and all the things you had to overcome, the negativity and that kind of thing that you had in yourself, but you still worked.
Yeah, I never stopped working. Number one, I didn't want to be one of those network marketers who was in and out and in and out. You can't build trust in a relationship with people. So I always made sure I was definitely posting on Facebook and practicing what I was learning. I feel like just saying something and then seeing what they say, that's how you're going to learn. Was my wording good or bad? Now, it's not to brag, but when I talk to people, they all join. It might not be that day, but I can get them all because I've learned what worked and what didn't. If you just take a break and you're just reading your personal growth, you can't have the practice or the experience. And like Amber said, it really only took me one time of seeing my friend join someone else to be like, okay, I'm making sure I'm the first one to get to them because this is such a big opportunity.
Yes. And the other thing that I experienced with Fallon, and, you know, all of this is out there, so I'm sure she does not mind me saying this, but this is a business where you get to have the privilege of investing in other people and caring about other people and getting paid really high wage for caring about people. And so I remember one of the things that Fallon said to me, and she had a goal, guys. Like, her husband was in the military when she first joined, and she was also brave. So one of the other little stories is she was posting on Facebook about the Diva Cup. So when I saw that is why I reached out to her, because what that said to me is she wants to earn an income and she is brave. And so last week we talked about doing things scared. And so that took a lot of guts. So she had some guts. But what I love about what happened to her is in the beginning, when she would have customers that were not getting the results that they were looking for, I would try to help her troubleshoot with that from the intention of really caring about that person. And she told me, so she had a husband in the military, she had little kids, he was gone, she did not want him to re-enlist. So she had a big solid why, and that is one of the reasons why we ask you your why and why you need to ask your sponsored people what would they want to achieve in this business. And that is because you're self-employed. That daily work, that nobody's going to hold you accountable to that, nor should they. That is going to be your job. And so she wanted to bring her husband home, not have him have to re-enlist. And so what she said to me was, I don't really care about my customers. I don't care whether they lose weight or get results or whatever it is they're looking for. I care about me because I need to make some money. And that was like clue number one that we had some problems. And I understand desperate situations. Like I work with some people where, they do need to make money. But you're going to do that through caring about the people that you're working with. Mm-hmm. So what happened with Fallon is while she was continuing working, before you reached that personal growth, so tell us how you got some of your jewels that are on your team right now.
Yeah. Well, another thing that it did was I stopped making excuses. Sometimes you tell yourself in the back of your mind, I don't have time. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't leave my house. I got 5 kids. My husband's gone all the time. Instead of letting that hold me back, I let that drive me. I was like, okay, I can't leave my house because I don't have my husband here. I better figure out a way to make some friends that doesn't involve leaving my house. And there were people who told me I couldn't grow this business all from home. I need to get out. And I said, whatever, I can't. I'm just going to do what I can do. And I started meeting people on Facebook. I bought a stroller from Tiffany Wilson, met her on Craigslist. I talked to her in her driveway, and Levi's like, you better share Plexus with her. We need to get me out of the Army. So I did, and I don't regret opening my mouth. I was very scared. That was the first one-on-one contact with a stranger, and now she's my primary leg. She's a rock star with a million rock stars under her. So what if I had kept my mouth shut? The other thing was, while I was growing my business, my husband got out of the military, and it was a very scary time. We didn't know what he was going to do. He had to become a truck driver, which was even worse than the military. I saw him 3 days a month. And instead of letting that be my excuse, oh, my babies need me holding their hand all day, I said, forget it. I need to make this work. I'm not going to make excuses. And I just let that drive me. When I was doing 3-way calls or training my team and my kids were screaming or the baby needed to nurse, but I wasn't done with my call, I had to put a sacrifice on what I needed to do for my family for a long-term benefit. Now my husband's home. My kids know their dad. That's really important for me with my sons, that they know their daddy. So it was a temporary sacrifice, but I didn't make excuses because I believe Lori when she said, if you can make it to the top of this company now, you got to keep working, but you're going to be set for life. This is a really good business opportunity. And I believed her and I ran with it.
Yes. And she kept working and she met those people that are now jewels on her team before she had achieved the personal growth. And like Amber said, they grew together. And another thing that I want to hear from Fallon is when she started ranking up, she called me and she said, what in the heck is happening? But I don't know if you've experienced this, Amber. Like I certainly have experienced this. Maybe 2 weeks ago, I made a video. You guys saw the video that I put in our business group, and it was about the person I met at the airport that was going to join and buy, and then she unfriended me on Facebook. So guess what? I still continue to go through the motions with everybody else on my list. I continued to reach out to new people and follow up, even though I didn't feel great. Has that ever happened to you where you just kind of don't feel, you don't feel the best about your business at the moment? I'm a diamond. I'm at the top of the company. I'm winning the shopping spree. And I had a little bit of a lull in the way I felt emotionally, but I went through the motions. And then I got this huge harvest this week of everyone's interested. Everyone wants to join. Everyone wants to buy. I can hardly keep up. And so when Fallon called me, she said, what in the world is happening? And what I loved about what you said is I turned it around with my hard workers once those girls saw the vision, which I think for Tiffany, it took about 4 months, right?
Yeah, it took a while. What I did was I knew that I had to duplicate myself because I couldn't just get anywhere on my own. So I took the girls who wanted the business and we ran together. We didn't stop. We didn't look back. We did everything together. And I wasn't like, yay, I got some workers, I'm going to kick back and relax. That's what I did the first time when I was second gold. I was like, cool, this is easy. Let's go to senior gold. And nobody was working and it made me mad. So I never sat back the second time around when I was actually having growth and I was promoting back to back to back, but I was working, I was recruiting, and I was alongside my team. And even when we weren't growing super fast, I told these girls, we had the fastest growing team in Plexus, and I believed it. I really did believe that we were growing fast, and I was just excited every day, all day, even if we only had 5 joins that month. And I think people need a strong leader to follow, someone who is excited, not someone who's like, yeah, we're growing really slow. You know, that discourages people to hear that negativity.
So, Amber, do you have any questions for her?
Yeah, no, I mean, I love that. I love that when she said no one was doing anything, when she sat at gold, she went out and she found new people. That's what happens a lot of time. People get frustrated. My team's not doing anything. My team's not doing anything. That's why we tell you guys, keep prospecting, keep reaching out. You most likely haven't met your rock stars yet. You know, don't give up before that time comes. Don't get frustrated with other people because they're not doing anything. What are you doing? You know, I forgot who said it, but they said, be the best ambassador on your team. Be the ambassador you hope for, pray for, wish for. Be that ambassador. And you'll collect those people who want it too. I think John Maxwell is the one who talks about you'll attract who. So if you want a leader and you want a rock star on your team, but you're timid and you're shy and you do the bare minimum amount, you're not going to attract the people you want on your team. But if you're bold and you're confident, even if you're faking it, fake it till you make it. You know, I don't know how many times I've been like, okay, I'm going to act like I totally know what's going on here. Because you want people to be attracted to you, and they're going to be attracted to a powerful leader that's passionate. And remember, it's not really what you do necessarily that makes you a leader. It's the influence you have on people. So go out. That's why we're telling you, go out and find new people. Don't get frustrated. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck in the personal growth. I'm just going to work on my personal growth. Don't get stuck in managing your team. I'm just going to work with my team and we're going to go to senior gold together. Work on yourself and continue to prospect the whole way through. For so many reasons. But yeah, I loved how Fallon said that she went out and found a new circle, found new people.
She did. And the other thing is, along the lines of management mode, you do work with your workers. It is right to link arms with that 20% that are growing, while you are reaching out to the others, while you are loving on the 80%. And so I've watched Fallon's team and people that joined her in the beginning that were not working the business. Now that she's got this huge momentum with other leaders, they're working and they're ranking up. And so oftentimes, you know, kind people join Plexus and they want their friends to succeed. And so they stop reaching out to new people because they're trying to reach back and drag those other people along. But this is the way you will get them where they want to be also, is you need to get there first. You are the one that is stepping out in bravery and action, and that is what we call duplication. Your team will duplicate you because they will get courage from what you are doing. And the other thing I want to say, and I want both of you to kind of elaborate it, and then we'll wrap this up, is I have experienced that oftentimes the difference between huge success and influence and momentum and everything that you're wanting is not near as wide of a step as you think it is. It's actually a very small step, but it's a step that people are afraid to make because they think it's huge, and it's really not. I am so thankful for Plexus for just even realizing that. That is the difference between super successful people and people that are not super successful. It is actually a very small step. And that is why I know that you can do it. And so can you guys talk about that and relate to that?
Yeah, I don't remember who does this video, but it's that Just Do It video. And he keeps saying, just do it and do it and do it until the job gets done. But he says the difference between people who are successful and not, they just do a little bit more. They just go a little bit further, a little bit harder. And it's so true. And I think a lot of people give up that picture of digging for the diamonds. I think a lot of people give up right before they hit what they're looking for. And I always think, what if I had given up? Because once I got it, and it seemed really easy. Some of my team laughs at me, but it's really not that hard once you get it figured out. It's really simple. That's why when I hit diamond, I said, okay, I'm ready to do it again, because it is simple. It just takes, like you said, just a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah. For me, I think that between not being successful and being successful, of course, there's a lot of actions in there, but it was believing in myself that was the huge change for me. From just having all these negative thoughts and feeling like I was never going to get anywhere, I was a failure, everybody else was doing great, but I wasn't doing great, I didn't know what I was doing, nobody wanted to listen to me. Those thoughts, even though I wasn't aware of them, but that's the truth I believed, constantly going around in my head, held me back from being able to be bold and confident and successful. And having all those fears. So changing that into positive things, believing what other people were telling me about myself, and choosing to look at the positive instead of being negative all the time, really made the huge shift for me. So when I told myself, everybody wants Plexus, everybody wants when I have to say, I'm not bugging people, I'm caring about people. People love to hear from me. And when I message someone and talk to a stranger, when I friended someone on Facebook, because I had that positive spin and mindset, it changed the way I acted. It changed my approach. If someone said the products weren't working, I didn't go, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, let me get your money back. No, I was like, really? Well, let's figure this out because I know you're going to get results. And then I troubleshooted with them. So it was a change in mindset for me. It was just that tiny little shift of belief and confidence in my ability that changed things.
Yes. And so,
mind.
Yep.
Mind. And to wrap this up, we always tell you guys, do the IPA. Do the IPA first, and the fortune is in the follow-up. And I guarantee you, along with the other things that we have talked about, that is the key. And so if you ever find yourself saying, well, I'll reach Ruby when my team gets me there, guess what? You are in management mode. And so you will reach Ruby when you get yourself there and you lead yourself there, and then the rest will follow. And so that is the best we can give you, and that is such good advice. And I really hope you guys take it. And thank you so much, Amber, and thank you so much, Fallon. I will never get tired of your story. So bye.
Bye.